Hey guys, it's Isabel from Isabel's Inspirations, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my top 10 book recommendations that I've read, and I think you'll enjoy them too. So let's get started. First off, I love to read. I'm a bookworm, so I thought it would be fun to show you guys all the books that I've enjoyed reading recently. So let's get started. Number one, I'm going to start with my series. So my first series is The Vanderbeekers. I love this book, this series. There are 4 books in the series. They're by Karina and Glaser. The first one is The Vanderbeekers of 141st Street, then The Vanderbeekers in the Hidden Garden, and The Vanderbeekers to the Rescue. Each book is kind of like what this family and the kids basically are doing. Each book is something they're doing in their community. And I think it's like for all ages basically because it's just such a cute book. There is a 4th one out. I've only read 1, 2, and 3, but I'm pretty assured, I pretty know well that the 4th one's going to be good because the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd ones are the best. So the 4th one was released in, I think, January of 2020, and it's a Christmas one, I think. So I think it's called The Vanderbeekers Lost and Found, and that will be my next read. I will be excited to read that one because these were such good books. They're about 5 kids who, again, do something in their community, and they live in Harlem, New York. So yeah, it's just really cute stories. Okay, so my next series, if I can reach them, is The Mysterious Benedict Society. These are interesting books because all these kids are like super smart for their age, and they like go on adventures and solve mysteries with each other. They're not very realistic, but I'm like, that's the fun of reading. Sometimes you'll be in a fantasy with like dragons and fairies. Sometimes you'll be reading about something that actually happened in history. So anyways, back to the series. I've read 1. I'm in the middle of 2, this one, and there's also 3 and 4. These books are by Trenton, Stewart. They are very, I just love them. But I'm going to say that with all these books, so just be prepared because these are all such good books because, I want to have them in this video if they weren't. So anyways, yeah, they're really good books. They go along with, they're just mysterious, you know. I love by the way, this doesn't have anything to do with the book, but I love the illustrative, the person who illustrated this, I think it was Trenton Stewart, but on the covers because it's the 4 kids, but then everything else is like, the people are like shadows. So I thought that was cool. Fun fact. But these are such good books. I totally, you can get them from your local public library, or you can get them on Amazon, I'm sure. But yeah, these are really good books. I first found them out at my school library, and I'm still so into them, and yeah, I hope you'll enjoy them too. Okay, that's all the series I have to offer, but on to number 3, which are my singletons. So this book is by Scott Odell, Island of the Blue Dolphins, which actually received a Newbery, here, let's not have that happen, which actually received a Newbery medal. It's so good. It's kind of, if you've ever read Swiss Family Robinson, it's kind of like that, except she's alone. Her name's Karina. She was the daughter of the chief of an Indian tribe of San Nicolas Island, far off the coast of California. And so she's the daughter of the chief, but one day they decide to leave their island and go to a different island. But she's accidentally left behind because everyone was so caught up in getting away that they forgot her. And so she has to make like a fateful decision whether she's going to stay on the island and make a living for herself, like by herself, or go by herself to find her tribe. So it's like kind of, I'm not going to tell you guys her decision though, because then you won't read the book and I'll just be telling spoilers throughout this whole video. So anyways, Island of the Blue Dolphins by Scott Odell. It's a really good book. My next book is Emily's Runaway Imagination, which is by Beverly Cleary. So Beverly Cleary is the author of Ramona the Pest. But here's a fun fact. Emily is a little bit about, she's a little similar to Ramona. So I don't know which one she wrote about, Miss Beverly wrote about first or created first, but they're kind of alike. So that was the fun fact that I noticed when I was reading both of the books. Now I just wanted to highlight that on the front of the book it says Emily and her imagination are about to cause big changes, but I think they should have put "and a little trouble." She gets herself into all this trouble just like Ramona the Pest, And each chapter is kind of like an errand her mom sent her on that it's like a little errand, but she makes it in this big thing. She's like 7 or 8, second grader. And it's like so cute. I know you guys probably haven't read this, but Grandma's Attic, I think. It's a little bit like this because each chapter, just by the chapters, because each chapter is like a different little story, a little adventure for her. But it's big to her, but it's kind of little to me. But it sometimes makes me laugh, and I got mad at her. I was like, okay, don't do that. You're going to get in trouble. But anyways, yeah, this was also a really good book. 1, 2, 3. Wow, we're on number 5 already. So now on to number 5, Tune It Out by Sumner, author of Roll With It. This was a good book because it kind of highlighted her because she was a little different. She didn't I don't know what it's called, but if you do try to contact me, because I'm like, I don't know what it's called. I'll look it up later. But it's because she doesn't like being in large crowds. Lou, the main character, she doesn't like being in large crowds. Those are birds. She doesn't like being in large crowds or loud noises. She doesn't like people touching her. She's kind of claustrophobic, but I think it's like she doesn't like socialism. She doesn't like being with people. And so, but she comes to music. Her and her mom live in their truck. Her mom wants her to make it big on Hollywood or in LA or something like that. But Lou just wants to, because she loves singing, she doesn't want to do any of that. So her mom gets her to sing at these coffee shops while people are eating. But an accident causes Lou to go to normal school and live with her aunt and uncle for a little bit. And it's really, it's cool for her to see how she learns to deal with this special thing God has given her. So yeah, it was an interesting book and I loved it. Number 6. Wow, we're getting through this quick. Number 6, A Long Walk to Water, which is actually based on a true story. I love when they're so cool stories, yet they're still based on true life. That's how cool life is. I mean, we're lucky to live life. It's by Linda Sue Park, she's actually a Newbery medalist for her book, A Single Shard, which I think I started, but I don't remember all of it. I don't even know if I finished it, but it was a good book. But this is a good book too. It's such a good book, and it's one of those books where it goes back and forth between times that are so different. Like in 2008, about in the beginning it says 2008 in a certain print, and then in a different print it says Southern Sudan, so they're both in Southern Sudan, but the next one's in 1985. So this boy, I don't even know that's him, but the main biggest character of this book is Salva, and he is one of the Lost Boys. So the Lost Boys of Southern Sudan. So basically, back it up. Okay, so in Northern Sudan, we're in a religious war because Northern Sudan was, they were all Muslims, basically, the people who occupied Northern Sudan. And they want all Sudan to be Muslim. But Southern Sudan wanted religious freedom, so they kind of went on a religious war. So the Lost Boys were the boys, because back then only boys went to school. So all the boys that were, in this part, only boys went to school. So the boys that were at school, when the Lost Boys and the boys who were at school, when people from Northern Sudan invaded them, and they had to go to a place called the Bush. It was a big underbrush place that was covered. It was a safe spot kind of, but basically this book is based on the events on his journey to a refugee camp. But it's just really cool. It gave me a lot of perspective on life and how lucky I am to have my parents, a family, a shelter, a roof over my head, and food and water every day, and shoes. So it was a really good book. Number 7. This book is kind of similar to A Long Walk to Water, except it's called When Stars Are Scattered by Victoria Jamieson and Omar Mohamed, which is interesting because Omar Mohamed is this kid right here, and in the back it actually shows real pictures of him and his little brother Hassan in their life at a refugee camp. So, and it's a comic book, like that. Yeah, it's a comic book, which I actually didn't know when I read it, but I'm glad it is because it's cool because you can see everything. But anyways, it was cool because when I opened the book, in the beginning it said that they had been there for 7 years already, and so when they were really little, because he's 10, so and they life with their foster mom Fatima at the refugee camp, and every day they're waiting to see if their mom survived because they got separated, and it's just really sad, but in the end it's happy. They get to go to America. I mean that's the end about all these stories. So this was a really good book, and I think you guys should try it out. So, but I think you guys should try all these books out. And then the next book, which is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. We're number 7. Wow. Okay. I'm saying that for everyone. Number 7, TumTum and Nutmeg. So seven. TumTum and Nutmeg, The Rose Cottage Tales. Stories by Emily Bearn. So TumTum and Nutmeg, it's really cute because like they're mice. First I thought this was like gonna be like a I don't know, like little animal cartoony story. It was actually very cool because like they act like real people, and they're cool. I mean, like there's no way to explain it. It's just like the Rose Cottage Tales. It's like tales and adventures and not really mysteries, but tales and adventures, and it's cute because like it's like the Emily Bearn, the author, took a story that she that was originally made for people and turned all the characters into mice and changed some of the phrases that the people use and turned them into mice phrases and how mice would say it. It was so cool because and there's lots of them. This is just the Rose Cottage Tales, but there are also whether that's TumTum, the man, and the woman is Nutmeg. But anyways, there's also a series of 6 that you can find again at a library or on Amazon if you just want to buy it. So this was again another good book. So on to, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, this is number 9. So I guess that was number 8. Number 9, Listening for Lions by Gloria Whelan, winner of the National Book Award. Okay, so Listening for Lions was so good. So the main character, Rachel, her parents are missionaries, okay? They go to Africa, and and her dad is like a doctor, so he goes in and he's helping and everything. Everything's great. Life's great. Until influenza strikes. Something happens to her family that will change her life forever, and she has like these really mean neighbors that like take control of her life after her parents are gone because they were more wealthy, but her neighbors. And it's just so cool. I'm not going to tell you anything else because seriously, I'm not going to say anything more on this because it just like, it gives the book away entirely. This book, I'm telling you, sometimes the most asked question I asked myself during this book was, how did she get through that? Like the tragedies that happened to her. I'm like, oh, I feel bad for her. And then also, speaking of Gloria Whelan, I checked her out because I love this book so much. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but that was an owl. Anyways, so I checked out Gloria Whelan because I loved her so much, and I found this book, Juju's House, and it's so good. So I'm not going to tell you anything about this. I know I've said that a lot, but you guys have to read these. I'm not going to spoil it for you. By Gloria Whelan, and she's actually known for a book called Homeless Bird, which I've not read yet, but I definitely will because I love her now, this author. So Juju's House, check it out. And then she also did another book that I also read, Angel on the Square, which was so good. It's based in Russia. This is based in China, I think. And they're just so good. I love her because she describes everything so well. There's also other books by her. So if you can ask your like librarian or search up on Safari or something, or Google Gloria Whelan. I'll put that in the description below how to spell it and everything and all that. Because you guys need to check her out. She describes everything. It's like you're like in the book. It's so cool. Okay, and now that was number 9. Wait. Yeah, Juju's House was number 9. So for number 10, I'm going to give you a book that it's my next read. If you guys know what that means, like this is my book that I'm in the middle of reading. It's called Model Undercover, Paris. So A Crime of Fashion by Karina Axelson. Wait, no. Who's it by? Karina Axelson. So I'm really excited to read this. I'm like really excited to read this. I'm just really excited. I'm just gonna keep on saying that. I'm really excited to read this because I love detective ones, and lately I haven't been able to find books. But anyways, this is gonna be my next read, if you guys were wondering. And that sums up this video. I know it's already over. That went by quick. Well, for me. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to Isabella's Inspirations. Give this video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you next time on Isabella's Inspirations. Bye.